I'm Lauren with Pack Hacker, and in this video we're taking a detailed look at the Tortuga Daypack Pro, which I've been testing for the last 2 weeks. Let's dive in. Starting off with the materials here, this is made with their Shell 70RS material, which is a 70D Robic ripstop nylon. So they claim that this is 50% stronger and 2.5 times more tear resistant than other nylon. You can see that it has kind of like an X-Packy look without that X-Pack kind of like X pattern. The pattern you do see on here is that ripstop nylon. So this is like reinforced with a ripstop grid. It's an ultra high molecular weight polyethylene, which is something that you'll see a lot with like a Dyneema or something like that. This bag material is also what they use in their packable backpack and their compression packing cubes. So if you have seen those other products, then you would recognize this here. Essentially all of that to say that this is a really sturdy and durable packable or backpack that's not quite packable, but because of how thin it is and how light the material is, you could pack this up and easily stick it in your bag and then just take it out when you get to your destination. So that's a nice feature to have. There is some blemish kind of marking up that's happened on the front of the bag there, but it's kind of more like patina-like than it is like big scratches or anything like that. So I personally don't mind, but I could definitely see that increasing over time. It also has a bit of a crunchy sound to it, so that's something to keep in mind. Not quite as loud as X-Pack, but still louder than other materials. In terms of other things going on the outside here, it's nothing crazy. We have the little Tortuga logo there, and then we have lockable YKK zippers all around. This is like a water resistant reverse coil AquaGuard zipper. So in terms of water resistance, you're really set with this bag. We just have these mesh pockets on the side, which I'll get into in a second, that do hold water. So that's really the only thing apart from like really the back panel that doesn't like kind of water like beads off of it or whatever. And then we just have this nice top carry handle, which is just easy for quick grabs. Never felt like it was in the way. I think in terms of aesthetic, this thing is pretty basic, and the features we can get into right now. The harness system on this bag is pretty basic as well. So overall, this thing is only a pound heavy. It's 21 liters, so it's pretty lightweight in the scheme of things for a bag of this size. So I don't really feel like I'm missing anything with this harness system. We just have 2 padded shoulder straps, a padded back panel with a channel on the inside for extra breathability. We do have a sternum strap that slides on a rail for easy adjustment. 2 little loops here for attaching other gear, or if you wanted to like loop a, there's not like a hole for a water bladder, but if you wanted to just kind of like stick one out, you can hold that here if you wanted to. But I think the back panel is really effective for the bag, considering its small size. This material here it's like very squishy. It feels almost like, it feels like foamy jelly on the inside. It's very soft, very cushy, like I said, but with these shoulder straps here too, I can really feel that breathability. You can see all of those like little tiny individual holes here. That's air can get through those. So I felt like even on like a really warm day, I still felt like this bag was pretty comfortable to wear, which is great because if you're gonna be walking around with this thing all day, you wanna make sure that you're nice and comfortable. So no notes on that. I think it does a pretty good job, so I'll show you what it looks like when it's on. Like I said, there's not really a ton going on that makes this backpack anything crazy special, but it is very, very comfortable. So you can see it's coming down to kind of like the upper lower back, I guess. It's like the base of my spine essentially is where it's kind of hitting at my lower back. I have a 16-inch torso, and even this I find to be pretty comfortable. This bag is about as packed out as I would possibly get it. Maybe I would shove a little bit more in there, but primarily when I carried this thing, because it is a day pack, I carried a little bit less, which would make the outside of this thing look a little bit floppier. So I'll show you what that looks like up close once I start taking gear out, because it does impact usability a little bit. But in terms of carry comfort, I have absolutely no notes on this thing. Like I said, shoulder straps are super comfortable. The sternum strap does a good job taking off whatever weight isn't super comfortable that's like left over. So if I wanted this thing to be really heavy, absolutely shove with all my stuff, maybe use it as a personal item, that sternum strap is going to be a really huge help. If you're finding this video helpful, hit subscribe so we can keep making content to help you travel smarter. But for now, we're going to take a look at the external storage on this thing. So we have 2 water bottle pockets. I'll start with those. They're just big, stretchy mesh pockets, and you can see that right now it's holding pretty taut to the bag, and same with this. It feels or looks pretty secure in there. I'm going to dump that upside down, give it a quick little shake. You can see it's not really moving too much. However, like I mentioned before, this is really as packed out as I would get the bag. When I remove some stuff from the inside, I'll show you back what this water bottle pocket does, but it's really, really loose. I found that I really didn't even want to use them because of how loose it was. Like, unless this bag was fully packed out here so that it was like edge to edge gear on the bottom, it really was just way too loose for me. This is a 19-ounce water bottle, and it's a little bit on like the wider side. So if you have a thinner bottle, like a Hydro Flask or something, I would definitely be careful with that. So if water bottle pockets are a huge sell for you, maybe keep that in mind. However, on the other side of things, it can fit really big gear in here too. So if you have a huge water bottle, you're pretty much set. We do have some Bartek stitching here to add a little bit of reinforcement with this as well. And it feels nice and sturdy. Didn't feel like it like stretched out too much over the course of my testing. You can see it's bouncing back pretty solid. So no notes there, but in general, overall, pretty stretchy mesh. The other thing that we have here is this top pocket. So you can see, I'm gonna pull it open with one hand now, and you can see even with using one hand, it's still getting caught a little bit. So going back to what I had mentioned with the inside when it's not quite as packed out, it really starts to like, this material will start to cave in and there's just less support. So let's say it looks like this, right? Which is honestly what it looked like most of the time when I was carrying this, because even if I packed out this thing so that it was full, it was really only full from like here down. And unless I packed this top spot, the weight of this pocket would kind of drag it down. And then if I wanted to use one hand to open it, it was just really tedious, annoying, whatever. It's not, I wouldn't necessarily call it a deal breaker for me, but I think that, I guess maybe it would be, because I'm thinking about that now and I'm like, it wouldn't be a deal breaker, but I don't carry that much stuff, so I would do that all the time and that's annoying, and like that's kind of a deal breaker. But again, if you're using this as like your travel backpack, whether it's like a personal item or you're carrying like everybody's stuff around for the day, this could be a really great option because it might be full all the time. But I do like this pocket in general. It's very big, very open. I mean, I would maybe even use like a pouch in here to kind of keep everything straight. As you can see, I just dumped everything inside because this is the only like small pocket for organization. So everything small that I had went in here. So you can see my phone, my wallet. I have some hand lotion, I have my AirPods, I have some eye drops, I have chapstick. And so these are things that like go from basically my sling to my day pack. And then keys as well on a little key leash. The key leash was great. I could still reach my door. It's a little on the shorter side, but I could reach my door and unlock it. And then if I wanted to take it off, it's a really easy clip. So that's really nothing terrible of note there. But it does have, you can see like, oh, I also have a quarter. That's yeehaw, that's great. You can see that there's a lot of space here. It goes down to about here, but you can see these gussets on the front that the way that it's stitched allows the bag to expand a little bit. So when you add gear in here, it's going to kind of expand out into the front versus cutting into this main compartment space, which is nice, especially because since this is the only small pocket, it's going to be fitting a lot of large items in here. But I put like a big sunglasses case in here, pretty roomy. So I do like that. Really the biggest disadvantage for me is the fact that I couldn't really unzip it one-handed. It was kind of tedious to always have to use two. Now we're going to go into the main compartment. So I can't remember if I mentioned it or not, but these are lockable zippers. So both this front pocket and the main compartment pocket you can lock if you want to. But it is a nice dual zipper situation, so you can unzip from either of them from any side, any point on the track. And then this just opens up this way to fit a bunch of gear inside. So I have an extra layer, and then I have 3 packing cubes in here as well. Like I mentioned, this is a 21-liter bag. And you can see that it's pretty roomy on the inside there. So the base of it is like very wide. I felt like it was very easy to pack things in here. You can also see this is that top compartment pocket, which I'm gonna pack out with some gear in a second so you can see the kind of sagging look that it has sometimes. But we also have this back laptop compartment. So I have a 13-inch MacBook Pro in here. It felt very, very secure. So this does have, you can see where it ends, it does have a decent false bottom. And then this padding is the same kind of padding that's on like the shoulder straps and the back panel. It's not quite as padded, but there you get actually a better look at kind of what that like pass-through mesh material is like. That's what adds that breathability, which is really great. Little tag there in case you forget which bag you have. But I'm gonna put this back in here and I'm gonna pack this out a little bit more like I would on the daily basis. So let's say I've got, like I said, this is basically everything I carry every day. So I've got all of these items in here. I'm not gonna bother with the key leash. The quarter was just a fun surprise. I'm gonna keep that out this time. You can see that that's heavy, kind of weighs it down, but that's not unheard of for a bag like this, especially that, like even bags that have a ton of structure are gonna get weighed down by a top pocket. But where I noticed it the most was, let's say I just had this in here and then honestly, like the equivalent of maybe a packing cube. Like that's what I carry on a daily basis when I'm just kind of like going around town, whatever. Like I worked at a coffee shop and I brought essentially an extra layer, a water bottle, which I will put that in here, an extra layer, a water bottle, and I think I even forgot like my tech kit, but if I did have a tech kit, it's not quite as big as this, but kind of gives you an idea of the size. And then close this up, and then you can just see that it kind of has like a saggy look to it, which I honestly like because it's black. I don't hate it. I don't think it looks terrible, but I do think that the bag looks better in a general sense when it's like fully formed and you can see everything. So like I said, just keep in mind if you don't carry that much every day, this might be a little bit overkill of a size for you. But if you are carrying a lot of stuff or carrying stuff for the entire group, this is going to be a pretty solid option. The last thing is this water bottle pocket. So like I mentioned, it just felt a little loose. That was louder than I thought it was going to be. I apologize. But it does just dump right out. So I actually had a couple of times where I had my water bottle in here, and then because I had not enough stuff in here, the whole bag sagged down, and then the water bottle started popping out of the pocket. And I guess that really just comes down to the fact that I wasn't carrying that much stuff. So kind of up to you what you carry, but that extra, packability is going to mostly come in handy. I have a little bit of time here, so I'm going to show you like how quick or how small it can pack up. If I were to take everything out, get everything moving and grooving, and then I wanted to, let's say I wanted to take this on my trip with me, and I wanted to put it in my bag, I can roll this up pretty small considering the size of that back panel. You could also like fold it in half if you wanted to, or just lay it completely flat, and it'll fit really nicely in a larger travel bag, but you still get all of that carry comfort, which I think this bag does really, really well. And as long as it's nice and structured, or you don't mind that it looks a little bit floppy, then I think you're in pretty good shape. It can hold a ton of gear. So there you have it, the Tortuga Daypack Pro. Thanks for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel, and we'll see you in the next one.